Oh no. Just a second. I'm a little scuffed. I need to mute the monitor on the BGM, or else it's gonna double up. Hold on a second. Monitor off. There we go. And I think that should be good. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, fellas. Sorry, everybody. It's a little bit scuffed. I'm sure you all know our collab, our Apex collab ran a little bit long because we had a chance for that dub and we chased it. I apologize for being late. I actually really... I try my best to never be late, especially the more people that are waiting for me, like the less I want to be late. So it's just kind of like... But it's fine.
It's okay. You had a lot of fun though, right?
It was really fun. I really love that game. Yeah. Anyways, good evening, everybody. It is me, Vesper Noir, the resident scholar of the Guild Tempus and member of HOLOSTARS English. Tonight, I'm doing the final guild interview. Our illustrious leader, the founder and leader of the Guild Tempus. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Regis Altare of HOLOSTARS English, leader of the Tempest. We can hear Apex in the back, eh?
They're just having a little giggle. Like, there's no way. There's, like, absolutely no way.
Wait, cracked? He's cracked?
Stick it.
Oh, dude, that was a sick shot, Vesper. Oh, my God.
Stick the res.
Dude, you just 360 no-scoped him. No way.
Magni muted. Oh man.
Apex is fun, man. Apex is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to get good at it. But anyways, your introduction was interrupted by trolls in chat. You know.
It's okay. There wasn't really much after that. Just leader of Tempest Guild. That's it.
So humble. So humble.
Yes, I am very humble compared to the great Magni Dezmond. Nah, he's pretty humble. Mm-hmm.
He is
always humble.
He is. He's actually quite like he's gonna get mad at us for like outing his off-stream persona, but you know, like he's actually quite a humble and serious person. He is.
Does he say so though?
I honestly think that he's actually quite say so. Like I don't think he has very many of that lewd thoughts in his head normally. It's just he knows that it gets a rise out of people and people love it, and he's just like, okay, we'll play to the crowds. Anyways, we're not talking about Magni tonight. We're talking about Altair. So
oh man,
yeah, we're gonna jump right into it.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need to worry because you watched the other two interviews, and not most, I would say half the questions are like just general ones, right? And so like you've heard them before, and I think I'm really interested because definitely I think we've known each other the longest, but you're definitely the most private. Surprisingly, you're the most private, I think, out of the four of us. Like, I would think that I would be the most private because I'm kind of an introvert, but I think you're pretty private about, like, your stuff, right? Like, most of the stuff I've learned about you has been while I've been lurking in your streams. Like, I can't miss your streams because that's where I learned the most stuff about it. It's like, I never knew that about you. So it's like, I'm one with the adventurers, right? Like it's like they learn something new about you, and I'm learning something new about you, like right alongside them. So, yeah.
I gotta put my best behavior on.
Why? No. Be natural.
I am a say-so idol. I am a hero. I don't know what these Demon Lord comments are. Yeah, I'm just a say-so hero. Mm-hmm.
All joking aside, I think it's just because you definitely have the killer instinct, and people find that a little bit counter to their first impression of you, right? Some people don't have a killer instinct. You definitely do. Like,
do you know what I like to think of it as?
What?
A smooth criminal. I need to stop singing.
No. You keep singing. This is my channel, and I'll handle it.
True.
Don't worry about it. Anywho, let's get right into it and start asking those questions.
Sure.
Okay. The first one is always the same one that I asked the other two. If you were given $1,000 and you could spend it on anything right now, what would you buy? What would you buy with it?
$1,000.
Yeah.
To be honest, okay, this is just from me growing up a little bit. $1,000 is a lot of money. At the same time, it's not that much money.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I want $1,000. Please give me $1,000. But I'd say there's two things I'd probably want to do. To be honest.
Okay.
Not Pokemon cards. No. I use my extra money that I spend on Pokemon cards. I don't spend the money that, you know. Anyways, either two things, to be honest. One, a plane ticket to see the boys. That'd be fun.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with rising ticket prices nowadays. I feel like it's a good opportunity to buy one. Imagine.
It would
me,
be nice. Yeah.
You, Desmond, and Axel hanging out on the couch, playing some Mario Party since we weren't able to because of Axel's internet.
And we bought it too. Like it's not a cheap game. It's quite pricey. We got to play Mario Party one day. Like we just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just we can do a lot of stuff online, but at the same time, there's so many more things we can do offline. So I'm pretty excited for that. But if I didn't want to think about others,
Just for yourself? Yeah.
Have you heard of the Philips CDI player?
Philips CDI player? No. What is that?
So Philips, they made a game console. I think game console called the CDI player, which you put in like little discs in. And there's some Zelda games called Link: The Faces of Evil and Zelda: Wand of Gamelon.
Oh!
They are extremely, very well-made games. I would love to play them, Nintendo. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. They're like $1,000 for everything.
I think I know. Is that like the meme Zelda where it's like, no? Are you mad?
No, it's the meme Zelda.
Yeah. It's the one where it's like
its amazing art style and gameplay.
Yeah. Interesting. That's $1,000.
Well, I think the CDI player is like anywhere from $500, and then the actual games are like $700 or whatever it was.
So it's over $1,000 to like actually play that.
It's an old console. It came from like 1993.
1993. Is the company that made it still in business?
Philips? I think so. They still do
Philips
stuff, right?
Well, what about the developer of the game itself, like the Zelda CDI game?
Let me check on that. Give me 1 second.
I think you might be the first VTuber to ever do like a stream where you play like the CDI Zelda. That would be kind of interesting, right?
Really?
I don't know.
Okay, so it looks like it was made by Animation Magic. Animation Magic has gone out of business in 2001.
Oof. How do permission? I have no idea how that would work.
Yeah, I mean that's not my job, so.
yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of curious. What's the oldest game console you've played?
Oldest game console that I've ever played.
Maybe owned. How about owned?
Owned? Nintendo. Like the original Nintendo, the NES, not the SNES, the NES. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've had anything older than that. What about you?
I'm not sure which one came first, but either the PS1, PlayStation 1,
good one, yeah.
or the Nintendo 64.
And 64. You had both of them? Wow.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
kind of jealous for like everybody around where I grew up. You had to have one or the other because like they were pretty expensive, right? Like,
well, here's the thing. Back when I was younger, there was an incident where people have trespassed into the house and took away my N64. So we needed something to replace it. So.
Oh.
It's unfortunate. Man, Donkey Kong 64. I still want to play it more.
Oh, DK, yeah, it was a good game. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense then. Yeah. And then to replace it, you decided to go the other way, right? And try.
Yeah. You know, Spyro, Age of the Dragon, Bob the Builder, Cake Builder.
Yeah.
So many good games. Legend of Dragoon.
Dragoon? I don't think I ever finished that game. I remember playing it, but I never managed to beat it.
Do you remember this? Huh? Double Slash.
Yeah. Harpoon. Yeah, Harpoon. I remember that.
Oh man, I missed that game. Maybe one day I'll do a playthrough of it, but you know, no promises.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like setup and stuff like that, and it's just the retro games are difficult, you know.
But they have their own little charm, though.
I think so. I think so as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. In your opinion, what are the qualities that make a good leader, and how do you think one would best go about gaining or sharpening those qualities, right? Because I think you're a pretty good leader, and I'm interested in knowing from your perspective, like what makes a good leader.
A good leader. Well, there's a lot of things that goes into being a leader. I don't think I'm the best leader. I don't think I'm a great leader. I'm decent, but I don't think I'm amazing.
Huh.
But let's see. Qualities that make a good leader. Let's see. Well, first of all, leaders need to be charismatic, and that's something that I honestly worry about a lot. I worry a lot about how I'm not likable to some people. I worry that I'm going to turn away people by, bantering too hard. I worry that I'm just going to be not, people aren't going to like me. So, that's something I do worry about a lot about, but I'd say charisma is definitely a huge thing that leaders need.
Okay.
And one of the leaders' roles as a leader is to steer the group towards an agreed upon direction, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, we all make the decision, but the leader's the one that takes charge and leads everyone that direction.
Yes. Yeah.
They're also one to not be afraid to go against the group if needed.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of makes sense? Yeah. Like, let's say the group has like a vision to go this way, but then they start drifting apart to this way. You gotta wrangle them up, You gotta earn your respect. You gotta be there for them.
Definitely true. And you have that quality, right? In Tempus, at least. Like, all three of us would trust you to tell us when. I know the Demon Lord thing, but let's see, like, I'm being serious. I think.
Oh, trust me. I trust you guys to bonk me if I go anywhere awry. But if you guys go awry, I'm gonna bonk you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. It's just I
want you guys to be proud of yourselves,
I might have to respectfully disagree with what your opinion of what makes a good leader, I think definitely you made a lot of good points and a lot of them are correct, but I think the most important part of being a leader is being trustworthy, right? Gaining the trust of the people that you're leading, right? Because it doesn't matter how likable you are if they don't trust you and they're not willing to, go against what they think is right in cases where the leader is very strongly saying, I think we should go this way, right? And that's where groups fall apart the most,
that
right?
Is true. There's actually a way to gain that trust, though.
How?
And the meme.
Of course I know the memes. Yeah, of course I know the meme.
I was born before the meme. That meme of like the meme comparing the boss and a leader? Like, there's a whole group of people pulling a rock, and then the boss is sitting on the rock.
Yeah.
But then the leader is like leading the people in the front, pulling with them.
Yeah, definitely.
You really have to earn like that trust as a leader.
It's like intangible, right? I mean, I know why I respect you, but I can't really place why I trust you so much, right? Because frankly, like, you're a lot younger than me and you have a lot less experience. That's just like objective.
Centuries.
That's I'm 28. I'm only what? Like 6 years old? Come on. I'm just a little guy. Anyways,
I'm just a young guy.
Yeah, I'm just a young guy. I'm not that old yet. Anyways, every logical part of my brain looks at our relationship and friendship, right? And it's like, you're younger than me, you have less experience than me, but yet I would trust you in cases where I think I'm right, but if you disagreed with me, I would warily follow you. Like, I would keep my eyes open because, you're a great person, you have a lot of skills, you're an intelligent person, but I mean, you're wrong sometimes, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I would follow your lead against my own judgment. Does that make sense? I wouldn't blindly follow you, but I would follow you because if you were certain,
you trust me.
Yeah, I trust you. Yeah, and I don't know how you did that. I feel like I'm roasting. I literally don't know how. Right?
It just happened. I don't know. Oh man,
it's tough. But it's a very mysterious question, and I was hoping you could shed some light on that.
Oh, I honestly don't know, because to be honest, I've honestly just treated you as an equal. As a leader, you shouldn't be considering yourself better or more than the others that you're governing. You know?
I mean,
if you don't even consider that.
If that was you, even 1%, there is no way Axel would listen to anything that you say. That's like, he hates that more than anything, right? The people that look down on other people. That's his number one thing, right? So you have none of that. 0% of your personality is like that. So I think definitely charm. I mean, I'm looking at chat. Definitely Altare is charming, but I do think there's something.
Oh yeah, thank you. My voice is very charming.
I feel like none of us will be able to pin it down in words, but it's definitely there. I think I'm not alone in saying that.
It's like
every member of Tempest
like,
trusts you. Like if you're serious about something and you think something is correct, we will follow you, even against
Do you think
our
it's a conviction?
Is it conviction? I don't know. Because some of
I feel like if you have strong enough conviction, you can convince anybody to do stuff, you know?
All right. I I'm gonna roast somebody in our guild. I think if like Magni or Dezmond or even myself, Dezmond or Axel or even myself had a lot of conviction, I don't think we would be able to convince the other 3 members, right? Like I don't think we have. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think any of us can come close to the leadership role, you know? Yeah.
Here's the thing. The reason why we work so well together, the reason why we are so strong together, is not only the fact that we're willing to, you know, go our separate ways, of course, doing our own thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we trust each other, not only as the leader, but like each other, to pull ourselves back into the right direction. It's not just me leading; it's everyone leading. But
that might
for
be
some
true.
reason, I got the leader role.
we got a great comment right there. Regis Altare. You have the will of D.
The will of D is nuts.
Oh, come on!
Oh, come on!
It's mysterious, and I don't think there's like a hard answer to it, but definitely if we were to have like a chart that we had to fill out, and it's like, how much do you trust the other 3 members of Tempest? You would have the highest like trust rating. Does that make sense? Like averaged across the 3?
That's fair. I'd probably trust Axel least. Well, no, Axel's pretty good.
Axel has good instincts. I think you should trust me the least because I kind of get caught up in my own head and I'm kind of indecisive.
Dude, I trust you the most. What are you talking about?
I mean, in terms of like decision making, right? I think Dezmond and I tend to be more like fence sitters. We're just like, oh, I don't know, like maybe we should wait and try to see if there's a better way to go about it, right? The indecisiveness is not great. It's not a great trait to have in a leader, right? You just have to be really decisive, and I think it would come down to either you or Axel, and I think I think it would be you. You know. That's
fair.
Yeah.
How about I just like tie Axel and Dezmond together? I'll just tie them. Yeah. And you and I can be at the top. Yeah.
I hope they're not watching.
That way I'm not doing favoritism.
Are they watching? I hope they're not watching. He's joking. Axel, he's joking. He's just having a little hee-hee-ha. Anyways, let's move on to the next question.
One thing I want to add to that before we end.
Yeah. Please do.
One thing that you got to do as a leader, I really, really do enjoy all of you guys' streams. I try to catch them whenever I'm not sleeping because they help me work.
That. Yeah.
One thing that a leader needs to do is 100%. You need to understand the people that you're leading. Because if you don't understand them, if you don't understand their will, how are you supposed to lead them towards what they want? You know, you have to get to know them. You have to be close to them. You have to really be part of them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like all of us are usually in each other's chat, right? I think I very rarely see. Well, you're always there, and then there's usually one other person there. But I think you hit all of our streams, like pretty much all of them. The only one that you might miss is the only one that you might miss is when Axel is streaming in JP time, right? That's like that's the one that you might miss. But any other time, you're pretty much just hanging out there. Even if you're working on something really important, you'll probably have us and you'll be listening, right?
It helps him work.
Yeah.
What can I say? It helps him work.
Yeah.
Like, you guys enjoy your streams. I enjoy your streams, so I don't see why not, right?
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Next question.
Yeah, next question. Could you tell us something about yourself that you're proud of? And it could be something that you're good at or something that you, like a situation that you handled really well or something like that. You don't really talk yourself up very much, you know? I watch a fair amount of your streams and you typically talk about you're like more introspective, right? Things that you want to change about yourself and not the things that you're proud of. And I'm interested in hearing about the stuff that you're proud of.
You know how if you set up great expectations
Yes.
It feels bad when you don't hit those. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So what if you set yourself up for maybe not greatness, but mediocrity? And then if you hit higher than that, you feel good about yourself, but you're not comparing yourself to the top dog.
True. Is that?
I don't know. I think it's always nice to see what you can improve on instead of, what you've already done, because, acknowledging things that you've already good at, that's not going to do anything better at improving, You should look at what you can improve instead.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Your faults, your shortcomings, But that my aim in shooter games is getting a little bit rusty, so I need to practice. Yeah, that's my answer to that.
The counterpoint is just also that it's also good to take stock of the things that you're good at, though, right? The things that you're proud of, and then when there are opportunities to put that into play again, you're in a better position. Like, you can't forget about the things that you've done well, right?
Well, here's the thing.
It's all about balance.
Would you rather... Yeah, absolutely. Would you rather have someone say that they're the best? Or would you rather have someone where people are saying that he's the best?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a little bit of cockiness in there,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm making him think.
I think if I were seeing that, yeah, definitely true. The person that is saying that they are the best, describing themselves, I trust implicitly less, right? But that doesn't mean that I automatically trust other people that are, if it's it's other people that I don't know, then their opinion could be completely wrong because I haven't gauged whether they have a good perception, they have good intuition, insight, and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily, definitely, yeah, the cockiness is is kind of a turnoff, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily.
It's kind of like a focus thing, though. They're focusing on what they're good at instead of focusing on how they can improve themselves more.
It's true.
Maybe they're coasting. I don't know.
It's true. It's true. So is this a question that you feel a little bit uncomfortable asking? We could skip it if you don't want to.
No,
answer.
I have a pretty solid answer, to be honest.
Ooh, okay. Can you?
Every single time I look at your guys' streams, I'm always reminded just how freaking talented, how lovable, how hardworking each and every single one of you guys are.
We're pretty stacked, right?
I am incredibly proud to stand next to you guys. And, be there with you guys. Because, sometimes I think that I'm not as talented as you guys. And sometimes it hurts a little bit of my mental. But, I know that I'm always surrounded by talented, super supportive, guys, my older brothers. And I don't know, that just gives me a little bit of solace. I'm able to proudly say that I'm standing next to the HOLOSTARS. Standing next to the Tempest Guild. I wouldn't say anything else.
That's a wholesome answer.
It's true. You guys are incredibly talented. There are things that you guys can't that you guys can do, but I can't. But that's the whole point of being a group. You guys fill up my my incompetency, and maybe other way around.
I feel like we have to. Chat, can you help me? We have to bombard this.
Next question.
We have to bombard this man with things that we think he should be. Oh my God. He's slurping the energy drink. Okay, we're gonna move on because I feel like I don't want to push him into doing this, but could you guys do me a favor? Could you tweet at him and tell him about the things that he should be proud of himself for? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, please come back. We're moving on to the next question. We're moving on to this. Please come back. Come back. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're moving on to the next question. I think this one might be a more comfortable question for you to answer.
Okay.
What are the things that make you the angriest? I'm interested.
So, I am a reformed toxic gamer.
I've heard.
I'm reformed. I'm very reformed. However, Shaco from League of Legends.
League, of course it's League. Tyler won.
I'm literally hiding behind my teammates. They're all there to protect me, but Shaco can get behind every single person and get behind me and kill me. But for real though, I'd probably say that someone who takes advantage of like the less fortunate, you know, when power's abused, you know, like.
One is like, oh yeah, I hate this, and you're talking in a very like professional, and the other one is just like, I could hear you, like you step away from the mic and you're like stomping on the floor.
Regis Altare.
Regis Altare. What is it about League? Like, we're stepping away from the question. I haven't played a single game of League ever.
Don't. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, don't wait.
Could you please like enlighten me as to like what is it about League that just makes people so angry, right? What is it like?
Is it okay for me to generalize like this?
Because the thing is, like, League is clearly a good game. It just makes people really angry, right? Which means it's good at investing people into the game, right? Like, you can't get angry at something that you don't care about. Like, I'm a firm believer in this. That, like,
can I do a hot take?
Yeah, please do. I'm actually very curious.
There are a lot of BS stuff that champions can do. There's a lot of really stupid things that are in the game. However,
yeah,
the reason why is because it's just. This is gonna be so bad if I say this, but I'm saying it anyways.
I mean, I brought it on myself because I'm actually curious. Like, nobody can like tell me, you know, like why.
Similarly to a lot of competitive games, people think that they're better than they are. So when they die to someone who is better than them, or when they die to someone because they made a stupid decision, they tend to project the fact that they don't think that they're the ones in the wrong, when they definitely are in a lot of moments. That's something that people need to recognize, that it's not the other people's faults. Sometimes it's just you. So you need to get better. And why get angry at other people when it's all on you? Maybe not all on you, but you know, just get good.
Interesting.
Just get
good. So do you think that anger and toxicity can be traced to something like a Dunning-Kruger effect? Like, people just overestimate their abilities in this game for whatever reason. And,
yes.
And they underestimate everybody else. They overestimate themselves, and then that just leads to the situation where they think something is wrong because it's like, I'm better than these people, why am I losing? And then they just get really toxic.
There's always a way to avoid a certain outcome that you don't want. For example, I'm mauled when Shaco kills me in League of Legends.
Yeah.
However, I know that I shouldn't have stepped in that bush, but I did it anyways. You know, it's my fault.
I see.
Freaking hate that guy. But you know, it's my fault at the end. So
can I ask you like, because I don't know what Shaco is because I've never played a game.
Sure.
Is it possible for a bad or a beginner player to play Shaco and pull off that move that you described where they go behind your team?
Shaco's actually harder than you think, though.
So he's a high skill cap, like character to play, champion, whatever you would call it.
You know those characters that only exist only to make you infuriating by like teleporting and disappearing and going invisible and you know, backstabbing you? Yeah. That's basically him. If you don't know how to do that, then you won't be able to play Shaco. Okay. But if you do that, I freaking...
Okay. So that situation that you're describing, a noob can't do that. It's definitely somebody that's like pretty...
You have to know how people play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if they pull it off, then you should be like, hats off. But
you know, deep in my heart, I'm like, you fooled me. But like in my head, I'm just like...
I hate you.
Okay, but for real though, one thing that does actually make me angriest though, like I will admit Shaco makes me angry. However, one thing that actually really does make me angry is when people take advantage of those that are less fortunate.
Yeah.
You know? Like when power is abused. When someone's in a position of power, they should be the ones who shouldn't be, first of all, abusing it, but second of all, they should be there to help people that are below them.
Yeah.
What's the point of standing on top of people? You know? You should always just stand next to them, help them up, hold out a hand, instead of spitting on them and kicking them.
I agree. Yeah.
Like,
I do think that... we kind of run into that too much, right? It's just and you never get. I feel like if you're a good person, you never get easy. It never gets easier to see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like too many people. Yeah, too many people accept that. Oh, that's just the way that the world is. And if you don't do that, then somebody's going to do it to you, and then you turn into a bad person. That's how that's how bad people are made, right? And it's just like, it's frustrating. Yeah.
Like there was this one article that I've read years ago. It was about this one CEO who, he had a regular salary and stuff like that. Yeah. But once he and his team, his company, they grew and grew and grew, became more and more profitable. Mm-hmm. He didn't change his base salary. Instead, he boosted everybody else's salary. That's the way to do it. He gave them benefits and everything. Yeah. I think the base starting salary in that company now is like $80,000 or something for a starting job.
Pretty good.
And that's because they're able to take care of them because everyone works so well together.
Yeah. Wish more people were like that, right?
Yeah. And then again, there's like billionaires out there who get like $500 million bonuses while people are still paying or still working at wages of like $10 an hour. Like, what the heck? You can give like a fraction of that just to improve other people's lives. Why do you not care about those people? Hello? I'm a little molding about that. Yeah. That's what makes me angry.
Definitely. It's just frustrating when the people that rise to the top are like that, and it makes you wonder, like, did they get to the top because they're like that, or is there like some type of luck in play?
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate. Yeah, and it never gets easier to see that, right? Yeah, I'm glad you're not that type of leader, right?
It can be.
You. Is that a threat?
Vesper?
Am I being threatened?
50% of your super chats go to me. It's a guilt fee. No, I wouldn't do that.
It's the leader tax. Okay. Well, we could discuss that. If that's the way that it has to be, maybe.
No. Don't worry. Just treat me to food or something next time.
These are good answers. Okay, yeah. When we meet up, I got a meal for you, and
I got a meal for you too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a heavy question. Let's move on to like a more lighthearted one.
I can't wait to see the clips from me yelling. I don't think I've yelled ever like that.
The league one is definitely going to get clipped. That was so funny.
Hey, if you guys see that clip, like it. Like it if you agree with my opinion, okay? Like it if you think that shit.
I need to Google Shaco. Like, I have to put a face to that. The character that
you'll understand if you see
angry.
a face.
Okay. I'll do that after the stream. But this is a fun question. This is probably the most fun question that I have lined up. If you could have a single superpower, what would it be and why?
The other ones I've wrote down like small little bullet points for.
Okay.
This one I haven't written anything down.
Okay, you're going from the heart?
Yeah. Because I want to think about it, right?
Yeah.
I want to think about it. Because, some people might they want telepathy.
Yeah.
They want to read other people's thoughts.
Yeah.
Think about the downfalls, though. What if you knew what everyone was thinking about you? Wouldn't you feel so self-conscious? Flying stupid. I'm sorry, flying stupid. Like,
poor Axel.
Sorry, Axel, but you're stupid.
Poor Axel.
Love you, bro.
That was his choice.
Think about it. When you fly, if you want to go straight up into the sky, you're going to have to worry about pressure differences. You're going to have to worry about negative temperatures.
True. Yeah, if nothing else about your body changes, and except that you can fly, yeah, like, it can get pretty bad.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to put on, like, 4 layers every single time you go outside? You're going to be like, honey, I'm leaving the house. And you just, like, go out as, like, the Tiger Man going out, like, cha-la-la, fly off, and you just see, like, a little circle in the sky instead of a person.
It's true.
Just try to keep warm. Okay. This sounds... I would say teleportation.
That's a good one.
If you were to teleport to somewhere that you've either been to, or a marker,
yeah,
or maybe if you just didn't imagine it, maybe that's too powerful. But let's say, playing some Apex. Oh God, I should have left the house 30 minutes ago. Teleport. I'm walking next to the treasury. Oh, I really want a gold bar. Teleport.
You're stealing.
You robbed a bank. You're running away from the cops.
You're
Oh no,
admitting
they've got you cornered. Teleport. Yeah.
You have to be trolling me at this point.
Okay. The real reason why I want teleportation.
Okay, so it is the power that you want.
It is teleportation.
Okay, please give me the real reason why.
I hate driving. I hate going on planes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like transportation. I get motion sick very easily.
Interesting.
I hate the pops that come into your ears whenever you go flying. So just teleport. You know.
Have you mentioned this in your streams? I never knew that you had like motion sickness issues. Yeah.
Not really. No.
Huh.
It's not really because it's half of the time it's because of the car, but half of the time it's because I'm really stupid and I just like look at my phone or something, like looking down, and then the car sickness just gets to you.
Huh.
It's 50% stupidity.
Do you get car sick when you are driving?
No.
Yeah, right. Like I know multiple people that get car sick very, very easily, but that's only when they're being driven, when they're a passenger. But when they themselves...
I have a hypothesis.
Please, tell me.
The reason why people get car sick when they're riding instead of driving is because when you're driving, you're focused on a moving object. You're focusing on the road. You're focusing on what's ahead of you. You're not focusing on the stationary car stuff. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting in the passenger seat or in the back, you have so much like vision of stationary stuff, like the chair next to you, or the handle, or the radio. You see stationary stuff, but you don't focus on that when you're driving. Perspective of movement, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Me personally.
Huh. Now I can only think about when all of us eventually do meet up and hang out. Oh man, that means you had to take an airplane to get there, and you had to suffer like a fair amount, right?
No, I can teleport.
You're not actually getting the superpower. Like, did you misunderstand?
I thought Des would have been... Man, I should probably cancel that.
I'm sorry.
Changing my hair color.
I'm sorry to break it to you. It was just a hypothetical question. So it's a util. Oh no.
What do you feel about that, huh?
Nothing personnel, kid. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's fully utilitarian then. It's just, you would think it's the most useful power that would make your life easier, and that's the power that you would choose.
Yeah, I wanted to go visit Japan back in 2020. Now I can't. But hey.
Yeah, maybe
teleport.
one day. Yeah. You're definitely, I think I can get a good feel for what type of person you are, because did you watch my interview with Des?
Yeah.
Did you hear his answer to this question?
I didn't catch that one. What was it?
Completely impractical. He wanted Dr. Manhattan's ability to point at someone and make them explode. That was his chosen superpower.
Okay, but that's pretty cool though.
It's cool, but it's not a very functional power unless you're a villain, right? I'd be careful what you say right now, lest you explode. But I mean, can you see it? It's like Des is, unless he was trolling me with that answer, like I'm assuming that he went into it with good faith and he gave me the truthful answer to what power you want.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks in terms of like, wow, that would be cool. Like that's like a flashy ability that I would want. Mm-hmm. And it's not about like, what would I use the ability for, right? Because I think despite him putting up the front of being like a chaotic, like unpredictable person, like I don't think he would kill anyone ever. So like he would magically gain this ability to point at someone and make them explode, and he would never use it. Like I could totally see him for the rest of his life never using this ability he had, and he's just kind of like, do I actually have a superpower? Like I actually don't know.
I don't know, man. I can kind of imagine Desmond.
Who would he use it on?
He's like trying to become a super villain, right? Like he walks out into the middle of the street of New York City, going like, "I, the great Magni Dezmond." Everyone walks out, looks at him, sees what he wants, says, "One pop, two pop, red pop, blue pop." A month passes by. You see a big, tall building. small little jingle saying, Doofenshmirtz even incorporated. Cutscene. Danny the Platypus? Oh, Danny the Platypus! Axel Lato! What are you doing here?
I feel so bad for Dez. I feel so bad for Dez. He's like a psycho.
Me and you're at home, we're just like, where did Axel go? Where's Terry?
Where's Axel, Dez? Where's Axel?
Where's Axel? Like, I can't see him as like a super villain, but maybe like a goofy villain like that, you know?
I don't know. Like, I honestly can't see him ever using it on anybody, right? I just honestly can't. Huh? Dez, how could you? Dez, this does not make you the leader. Dez, bring him back right now. Dez. Don't ruin my stream. Bring him back, please. You know I can't let you do that.
Where is Altare, Desmond?
It's an interesting and fun question, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
that was good, yeah.
I definitely think we're divided into two groups. Like, team, I think this would be cool, and team, this would help me live my life better, right? And it's funny that me and you are team, this would let me live my life better. And
what was your superpower?
My superpower was the ability to read minds, you know?
What am I thinking right now?
I can't read your mind. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't.
Read my mind.
Okay, you're thinking. I can't say that. Let's just move on. The most inappropriate, the most like incredibly inappropriate. Oh my God, we're moving on. Next question.
I can read your mind.
The most incredibly inappropriate thing.
Is that short blue-black hair?
We're moving on. No, we're good. We're moving on. Okay. This is a good question. This is something that I actually wanted. I think I've asked you once or twice off stream, but like this is a good chance to ask you on stream and get like a record of it so I could like look back on it. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Please give me tips on how to get good at shooter games like FPS. Like anything would really help out. Anything. I want to get good enough to like hang with the boys, you know, and I want to get good enough to hang as soon as possible. Like within a year would be really cool, you know, if I could hit like yeah. It's just like, it's tough, man, you know? Okay.
Will you allow me to go on a like small little, not really rant, but just like...
A lecture, right?
Lecture, yeah, sure.
Please do.
So, one thing that I've found, maybe this might not be the way that everyone else does it. However, the number one thing that you can do to improve your aim and improve your skills at the game is to get comfortable with every single game movement and aiming sense in that game. For example, if you know how to move in Apex, and if you know how to compensate that movement with aiming, then, you know, you've already beat half of the freaking world, you know? Like, some people, they just never get comfortable with how the game plays. But if you're truly comfortable, whether that's spending hours trying movement, doing tap strafing, if you spend hours sliding on the ground trying to track down movements, that's just the best way. But that's a little bit easier said than done, right?
Yeah, there's no shortcut for that, right? Like you just have to spend hours and hours moving, right?
There are no shortcuts to getting better at anything. I'm sorry.
Oh man, that's a shame.
Now, however, there are a lot of ways to improve. For example, off stream, yeah. I showed you how to enable those bots that move around in the Apex lobby, right?
Everybody, he showed me something, and I like, when do you know when they added that in? Like, I don't know. I didn't know that it existed until you showed me today. Like, I don't know how. Yeah, could you tell them about it? Because it's like, what the heck? Like,
so in the training range in Apex, there are these standing still targets. You can do perfectly fine, you know, trying to trace them and everything, but they're standing still.
Yeah, they don't move.
However, they're yeah. And there's a thing that you can do. You can go up top of like the rafter on the left side. You can change characters. Really, just Google it, honestly. But basically, it makes those bots start to move and shoot back at you. So
I never knew that was a thing. It was insane.
Like, imagine if I would say that the training range is honestly a very, very good way to get better at a game. Yeah, sure, it's the training range, of course. But when you think about it, those bots are moving around. You have to constantly dodge where they're trying to shoot. And while you're moving, while you're dodging, you have to shoot them as they move. So if you do that for maybe 30 minutes, an hour before you start playing, you're going to be warmed up. You're going to be used to how you move, how your crosshair moves, how you can trace people while they're moving. Once you do that 30 minutes, an hour every single day, you're going to get better and better and better because you're getting more comfortable with how to aim, how to trace.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like pretty crazy because I was like messing around with it for 30 minutes. They actually move and shoot back at you, and they don't slide. I think the only thing is that they don't slide, but they move at about the same rate as like an enemy player that's aiming down sights and moving side to side, right? And then like they also climb. They climb up like obstacles and stuff like that. So like you can actually you can see the size of their body as they're climbing up, and like I don't know, it's actually quite difficult. Like you can't just like, it's not a button that you press. Like you have to climb up onto a ledge. So you need like a Horizon or the jetpack girl. What the heck is
Valkyrie?
Valkyrie, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to.
She's my waifu.
You have to like position yourself with pinpoint accuracy, look straight down, and then kill yourself. And then like why can't they just like you press escape and then like instead of like leave the firing range, go back to lobby, there's like another or there's like one that says like turn on bots. Like why don't they just do that? Like I don't understand why they made it so difficult. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I'm actually going to do that. like whenever I'm playing Apex, whether it's by myself or I'm queuing up with you guys, like I'm going to spend 30 minutes like just shooting the bots. Yeah, fighting the bots that are shooting back, and it's like it's an Easter egg. It was an Easter egg. Interesting.
Vesper.
Yes?
There are things that you should prioritize, however, per game. You know how in Counter-Strike and Valorant, those games are very much, you're probably going to take fights at the same places every single round, right?
Yes.
So a lot of a lot of that skill is going to be knowing where to put your crosshair. Crosshair placement is incredibly important, as well as recoil control. Those two things are things that you need to work on for Valorant and Counter-Strike. However, with Apex is a game that's very different in aiming. You don't need that good of crosshair placement. You don't need that good of recoil control. However, if you're able to trace people's movements, if you're able to keep your crosshair on that person, that's all you really need for aiming, man.
Huh, like, interesting.
That's why I really like with the moving bots. You know, you can slide, you can jump around and still aim at them.
Can you explain to me why it's not as necessary in Apex? Like, what about the game makes it not as necessary?
So it is important, crosshair placement in Apex. I will say that it is important. However, when was the last time that you know someone's going to be at a door or at this specific angle? No, they're all around you. They're going to be like a 360 cone around you.
Yeah.
You have to adapt to that. So,
and then a lot of times, like, you just won't even hear them come up on you, right? Like the audio will just, something will happen to the audio and they'll just be on you, and you just, like, you'll see them running towards you and they're not making the noise. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Like, how come I didn't hear it? Interesting. Like,
crosshair placement is important when you snipe and everything.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, if someone's coming from behind you, don't know, wherever you are on the map, first shot, that's not bad. But it matters the rest of the 29 shots that you shoot.
True.
You know? If you can accurately predict where they're jumping, if you can accurately predict where they're sliding, you're gonna murder people, honestly.
Just gotta work on the aim, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I do have a couple of other things.
Yeah.
Maybe two other things. One thing that I've really done a lot of, when I wanted to get really, really good at Overwatch, I watched people play. People that are good at the games that you want to get good at, they're good for a reason. You can learn, you can emulate what they do. For example, if they act in a certain way during a certain time, think about it. Why are they acting that way? What kind of scenario is pushing them to act that way? And then once you absorb that knowledge, slowly, you can make those quick second decisions, recognizing what the situation is, and then giving an appropriate response to that. You know?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
A lot of newbie players, they might be like, oh, I'm caught out in the open. What do? Jump? Run? You slide, baby. You slide.
Yeah.
You slide, tap strafe. You do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Or just not put yourself in that position.
Yeah, like always stay behind cover. Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to do that. Well, then in that case, yeah. Do you think you could give me like, what's the ideal ratio of like watching a pro and actually getting practice, like playing the game itself, right? I'd imagine it's skewing towards actually playing, but there has to be a X percentage of watching like a pro play. Tough question, because it's kind of like you eyeball it, right?
That's a very tough question because I watched so much pro play.
Yeah, I guess instead of saying like what's the ideal, could you just tell me like what was your ratio like when you were trying to go pro in like Overwatch? Like what?
Well, I think when I was trying to go pro in Overwatch, I didn't have much time.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I was working on other stuff, I would watch people play.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I would get around, well, before I joined teams,
it
would be around 70 to 80% watching, 20% playing.
Really?
Because I personally wasn't able to play. However, if you were to be in an ideal situation where you have the time to play, you have the time to watch, I would say 40% watching, 60% playing.
40-60.
Because if you know how to play, but you don't know how to put it into practice, then
right.
What's the point, right?
It's like muscle memory, right? Like people keep telling me that a lot of gaming is just muscle memory. Like you just learn how to do it. So it's just, how did you 80% watching? 20% playing, 80% watching? I
mean, how else do you get better at a game so quickly, right?
That seems like crazy.
You observe, you see what they do, you emulate it. Like when Desmond especially, this is a very good example. He watches people do wall jumps or wall bounces in Apex.
Yeah, he's really good at it too. Yeah.
He puts it into like actual practicality in game. He actually practices it in game. You know? He doesn't just watch it for the fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Yeah. I don't watch like pro level Apex gamers to like try to learn. It's just I'm like smooth brain, just like they're really good at aiming. So I guess from now on I just need to kind of like look at it from a technical aspect. I never really thought of it that way. But man, like I'm kind of blown away by what you just said, where it's 80% watching. Oh my god!
And you know,
it's
you're not alone in this.
It's not an ideal situation. That's just what you had to do it because of the way that your time. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to end off this little section by just saying, you're not alone in this. You know, you have bros that are here 100%. We enjoy playing with you because we enjoy playing with you. You're good at the game. At the same time, you're not going to be alone in learning.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have a lot to learn. Desmond has a lot to learn. Axel has a lot to learn. But we can all learn together. So
it's definitely making it a lot easier for me because I do have the idea that like if I'm holding someone back, and especially if there's actual confirmation, right? Like if I'm in a squad and then they start saying like, oh, you made the wrong decision, blah, 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 and they start like, you know, listing the ways that I held the team back and we lost because of the decision that I made, then it kind of like kills my enthusiasm for playing. Like nobody in Tempest when we've played Apex, even when I've clearly like lost us the match, has ever done that. So it's just very easy for me to get sucked into the game and play it for 4, 5, 6 hours. And I do think
that was actually one of my toxic traits when I played Overwatch.
Oh, really?
I played with my friends who weren't at the same level. I mean, they were pretty good, but I would backseat them, and that was not the way to go. Like,
I see.
I've learned not to do that. It's just bad. It's just not good for their health.
I think for some people, it helps them learn. I think Axel has mentioned that like he likes being called out because it helps him grow faster. And that's definitely a great trait to have, right? If you're in a competitive
they ask for
mindset,
it, then give it to them.
Yeah.
If they don't ask for it, don't give it to them.
Yeah, I think I just like, that's why I don't really have it in me to be pro, but I do want to be good enough to hang with the boys, and I think I could do that. Like, it's just gonna take what, like a couple hundred hours, maybe.
It's like that whole thing about a boss versus a leader.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people what to do without them wanting you to tell them what to do? Just a thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, man, we're having a really good chat. Like we got We got
So,
2 more questions. I think we can get through it.
Yeah, I've been doing some planning on the podcast, so I'm excited once that's off the ground. Very excited.
I hope people like it because I think I don't think Des and Axel like listen to a lot of podcasts, but like both of us are like podcast addicts, right? So it's just kind of like, and it's very rare to see VTubers in general that make a podcast, and like the VTubers that are interested in doing it, they think it's just a stream, and it's not. Like the culture is so different, right? Like they're like, well, we might as well stream it, and then people could listen to the VOD, and then that's kind of a podcast, right? It's like, not really. It's just very different, and I think a lot of podcast listeners are in no way stream watchers and in no way like VTuber watchers, right? So it's just like people are gonna be like, what the heck is this?
I will say that people that do stream it live, their podcasts, it is a podcast.
It is, yeah.
It's just, people do things differently. Maybe just because I don't agree with the way that they do it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
It's true, yeah.
Everyone does things differently, and that's just our job to respect that. Like, what's the whole point of everyone doing the same thing, the same way? There's no room for ingenuity. There's no room for growth. There is no room to grow a culture.
Yeah. So, maybe I'm just being like a traditionalist and like kind of like a podcast snob, and it's like, no, you can't stream a podcast. Like it has to be,
Yeah, we can do the things that we want to do. But at the end of the day, it's all up to the way that they want to do it, because it's their podcast.
We
have no say in it.
Yeah,
so.
it's true.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. I hope everybody else is too. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Anyway,
Desmond drew up a little logo for it. It looks so cute.
Did he? I think I missed that.
Oh, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'll send it to you. Chat doesn't get to see though.
Yeah, chat doesn't get to see because it's hidden, right? What do we got? Did you put it in the group chat, or is it just like a DM between you and Des?
It should be in the group chat, but I had to scroll up a tiny bit. So if you want to ask the next question, go for it.
Okay, got it. Alrighty. 2 questions left. This is like a 2-part question, and it's kind of like a switcheroo, okay? Think about the person that you admire the most, right? And it could be real or fictional. Just a person that you admire a lot. This is the actual question. What do you think their greatest weakness or their worst trait is? So it's kind of like an objective, like I want to see like how objective you can be, right? Like somebody that you greatly admire, but you can recognize their flaws. And I kind of want to, see how you approach it.
For this question, I would like to say either Itachi Uchiha.
Oh, great choice.
Or Whitebeard from One Piece.
Great choice. Yeah.
I think.
Could you give me one of each? Give me a twofer.
I think I'm gonna actually pick Whitebeard over
Whitebeard. Okay. Get in there.
Over Itachi, because I love Itachi. He's probably my favorite. He's my favorite of all time. But Whitebeard's so freaking. He's admirable as hell. He's
absolutely.
So admirable.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know Whitebeard from One Piece, he was the spoilers. Spoilers for One Piece coming up ahead. If you guys don't want any spoilers, I'm sorry. It's been out for a while. So, Whitebeard, he is considered the strongest man in the world. He is he's one of the emperors of the sea, one of the 4 emperors of the sea, which means he has territory. However, the one thing that makes him different from the other pirates, from everyone else that's trying to, make their way in this pirate world, his crew, it's family. It's family. He treats his crew like family, which is what a group of friends should be. They should be family, regardless of blood. He had power over territories, but he never exploited them. He was only there to, help protect them. He never asked for anything in return. He wanted to rule over familial love, over fear. And, the way that he died with plenty of scars, so many scars on his chest, but never did he get scarred or cut or injured on his back. He had the most glorious of deaths, nothing to regret in his entire life. And that's kind of how I want to live, I want to live in a way where I can be proud of everything I've done. I want to live in a way that I'm not regretting stuff I've done or regretting not doing stuff I haven't done. And I guess for his greatest weakness, maybe his immune system. His immune system. I think you muted, by the way, but
I muted. Oh my god, I muted myself because you gave that like really great. God damn it. Okay, all right.
Okay,
but you gave this wonderful. Aside, okay, you're joking. Thank God.
Joking aside about his immune system.
Molding. Oh, yeah, please. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find a lot of flaws, to be honest, because he is made to be someone that you look up to in that anime universe.
Yeah.
But when you take a step back and think about it, he's a very simple man. He's a simple man with very simple beliefs. But when you think a little bit deeper into it, the world isn't black and white. You can't solve everything simply. And that may have been his downfall. That may have been his strength. I don't know. But, I just don't want to take things in a black and white way. I want to be able to see things from other angles, adjust to how I would act to certain situations. What Pharrell said, he's blinded by his love of his family.
Interesting.
Gotta be a little bit selfish,
This requires a lot of thought because I also really like One Piece and it's kind of like I never really thought about it that way. Huh.
Okay.
Interesting. Do you think I'm like wary of going into spoiler we could just do like a spoiler, like if you
I've already given the spoiler warning.
Yeah,
I've
right.
already given the spoiler
spoiler warning,
so.
Okay? Like so do you think if he was a little bit less, if he was more flexible, right? It's an issue of flexibility and it's an issue of like adaptability and being able to understand that like the world isn't simple, right? It's complicated. Do you think if he had that, he wouldn't have died? Like,
I think he was going to die regardless.
Yeah,
his health
right?
was declining.
Yeah.
But I would say that the story of the entire franchise would have been changed. If when, one of his flaws was that he accepted everyone. He accepted Blackbeard, who ended up stabbing in the back and running away. And he's a huge antagonist in the series now. If he took the time to say, he is not part of my family anymore, we have to go after him.
Yeah.
What would have changed? The entire world would have changed.
I kind of feel like even if he could see the nuance of the situation, his hand kind of got forced, right? Because he had to rescue someone. I'm not going to say who. He had to go rescue someone. And like the only other option was just to like not do it, not go rescue them, right? And I feel like,
Think about this though. If that person that needed to be rescued didn't go in the place of Whitebeard going to fight against Blackbeard, he never would have been caught.
I
could have all been prevented if he only was a little bit stricter on his family.
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
But hey, that's show business, right? That's show business.
Sometimes you're a little too soft, and like when somebody that you care about is just really hard-headed and they're like, no, I'm going to do it, and you just let them do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Even when you know they're wrong, right? Like, I'm sure he's a really smart guy, so I'm sure he knew, like, you probably shouldn't do this by yourself. Like, you should probably, take a homie or two or three. There's plenty of them in the Whitebeard crew, right? And he just let him go off by himself, and it's like, that's not a good idea. But he let him, Ah, man.
So
what a
that's
great
my
character.
answer.
It's a really good answer. I think this is like an interesting question that I like to ask people because it's really hard. It's really hard to like honestly identify and voice flaws in the people that you admire, right?
Absolutely. Are we done with spoilers, by the way?
Yeah, we're done with spoilers,
Okay, I'll just put it in the chat just for people.
There's nothing wrong with people that have a little bit of difficulty doing it. It's just when people have the ability to do it, like I love to listen to it, and then I feel like I can learn a lot about a person by seeing how they think.
Basically saying, oh, who do you want to be like?
Yeah, and then like also at
the
the same time,
person,
and then also at the same time, it's like, but you don't. There's no like hero worship. Like you can look at them and identify their flaws and be like, yeah, this is something that they should probably fix. And it's like it's an interesting question, and I like it.
Yeah. What's the point of looking up to a god, right?
Yeah, I kind of agree. All right.
Also, fun little fact. When I when I first got my Adventurers Guild job, I decided to treat myself to a wooden statue of Whitebeard. Maybe I'll take a picture of it one day. But
yeah,
it's a nice wooden statue. It cost me like $500, but it was so worth it.
How big is it?
It was like hand carved and everything. It was maybe 10 pounds.
It's hand carved?
Yeah,
and it's only $500?
Yeah.
What?
I'll send you a picture about it.
Yeah. You send a picture to me. You don't send it to the other guys. Just me.
Yeah, just you.
Just kind of curious. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you deserve a reward for taking on the job. It's not an easy role.
Exactly.
Yeah. Send a picture to me.
I will.
All right. The final question, which is the question that I asked the other two members as well. And I like it because it's open-ended and it's guaranteed to get me something. It's guaranteed to let me learn something about someone because of the way that it's phrased, right? Could you tell us something about yourself that we would never in a million years guess, like without you telling us?
I don't know. I've kind of been open with everything, to be honest.
Surprisingly so, but more in your streams than in our like Discord chats, right? Like you're a pretty private person, and it's like interesting listening to your streams.
I don't know, because I don't know what would constitute being interesting or something that people wouldn't know.
Oh, it doesn't have to be interesting. It's just something about like a fact about yourself that we would never in a million years guess, like ever.
You know, I haven't written anything about this down either.
Just left it free?
Yeah, because I thought I would be able to think of something at this point, but I don't think I'm a very interesting person.
I disagree, and I feel like a lot of people disagree, especially because of the Demon Lord arc, and they're like, what is this guy? He's so...
Altair loves good chili, that's a good one.
He's a man of contradictions, right? Like, yeah.
Something that's
and you're constantly pulling like weird stuff, right? Like tying together your black belts or something, and then like crawling out your window at like 3 a.m. Like, who does that, right? It's like, what?
Okay, I think I've thought of something. I don't know if this is okay to go through with it, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to be a very dedicated CS:GO skin trader.
Oh, like a speculator, right? The whole thing was like a market speculation, right? Like essentially, but you're like speculating on knives, right?
I mean, they do have inherent value, so I think it's not really speculating when you sell it. So,
but I mean,
let's
like,
just say that
like
some adventuring costs were paid through that. So.
The valuation would just like skyrocket, right? Like it would just be like really volatile. It's like, what the heck?
It's kind of like playing the stock market, to be honest.
Yeah.
When there's a CS:GO major, basically a huge Valve-sponsored tournament.
Yeah.
They have these little capsules and packs where you can buy them or get them luckily, and you can get a random skin in those. Gotcha.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they just open them or they sell them immediately. But I had a couple of 2015?
Yeah.
I think it was 2015, 2014 Katowice. Not sticker capsules, but like the weapon capsules, the weapon crates. And I kept those for like 2-3 years, sold them for like 1,000 times profit.
Interesting.
Like, it's not very fun to look at the stock market just being like, oh, it's going up, it's going down, it's money. But what if it's pretty shiny stuff that's going up and down the market, What if it's a nice dragon lore? What if it's a nice Icarus fell?
That is so funny. I'm just imagining, what?
You wouldn't expect it, right? Like, I know the prices for a decent amount of Counter-Strike skins. Like, I've traded them with the people. I've made profit off trades. I've lost money off trades.
To be perfectly frank, I would expect it from Axel, but not from you. It's like, where did this come from? Like, what? What?
I guess that's a good answer, right? That's a good answer.
It's a really good answer.
You don't expect it.
I should have expected it though, because I was watching you pull the Pokemon cards with Dez, right?
Yeah.
And I was actually, I had my Google tab up, and I was like, whenever you got a card, I would like Google it and be like, how much is this worth, right? Before you started pulling the cards, you were going over your collection, right? And you have a card in your collection that's worth like $9,000, like $10,000, right? Like $9,000 or $10,000, like something insane.
Would you like me to explain that?
It's the freaking, it's this freaking Pikachu card, right? Like the red sheet.
That one actually isn't it. It's not that one.
Oh, it's not that one. Which one is like
that
worth?
One's actually like $1,000, maybe $500.
What was the one that was 9,000? Like, there's something that was worth like $8,000 or $9,000.
So okay, let me do a little bit of information to preface this.
Yeah.
When I was younger,
okay,
I had Pokemon cards, but not too many. You know, I wasn't really bought that many.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, we wouldn't be able to spend the money for it. So what we did instead was we went to the corner store and we bought the rip-off fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You know, the ones where you get like Obelisk the Tormentor, except it's obviously fake.
Yeah.
And you know, that small memory was just it was nice in my childhood.
Huh.
So when I started to get money from doing adventuring and, you know, doing quests and all that kind of jazz, I decided, hey, what if I get back into my hobby again? What if I get back into Pokemon cards? Now that I'm a big adult, right? So that was a couple years before the Pokemon cards really blew up.
Mm-hmm.
I went to this one convention where this guy was selling a Shadowless Charizard. Shadowless is it's a Pokemon series based off of like the original set. It went first edition, it went Shadowless, and then base set.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I found a Shadowless Charizard at a convention for about like $350. All of my friends were like, oh my god, Altair, you're so stupid. Why would you spend $350 on that? So I was like, okay, you know, you guys got me, whatever. I spent the money, what can I do?
Yeah.
Kept it in my little case for a bit.
Okay.
Noticed that there was a thing called grading. So the only thing I've sent off to grading is that one card.
Mm-hmm.
Sent it off to grading. Pokemon market exploded.
Okay.
And during that time, before it exploded, I bought Pikachu cards. I bought the cards that I wanted, you know, before they really blew up in price. When I got that card back 8 months later, and I sold it, it sold for $7,000.
In 8 months, it went from $350 to $7,000?
350 base without being graded at all. But when I was graded, it came back as a PSA 8 out of 10, which is near mint. And if you have that card near mint, then, you know, you can get a pretty hefty amount for it, you know? Pretty hefty amount.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty lucky that I got into Pokemon cards before they blew up. I was in there before it was cool. But a lot of the cards that I have nowadays reflect that fact. I didn't buy them for $4,000. I bought them for $100.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So now I have a collection that I do like looking at, but if there's a rainy day, if something happens to me, I can sell them for still a good amount of money. Hopefully I never sell them, but I do like having them.
Really interesting. Yeah. You got that collector's mindset, and it's just...
Yeah.
Huh.
It's kind of because I got really... I felt left out in collectors. People have collections of things. I wanted a collection of Pokemon cards. What about you? Do you have any collections? Well, you have T, I suppose.
Yeah, T. I went through a phase where this is not quite dumpster diving, but I went through a phase where I was really into retro bicycles, like specifically 80s Japanese bicycles. Like
okay,
there was like a Japanese bike boom in the 1980s, and they had really, really high quality bicycles for very, very cheap.
Interesting. You're gonna have to show me a picture of this.
Shut up, chat. The underwear thing is just a bit. Shut up. I'm talking about bicycles. Anyways, yeah, like
it's just a bit.
I had an insane amount of bicycles at one point. I think I had, because it was just so bad, I had to like stack them up in my closet and then like remove the wheels, remove like all the parts, and it's just like the frames that were like stacked up. I think I had like 18-ish, like close to 20 frames, like 20 bicycles. Yeah, just like stacked up in my closet.
So what made them unique from regular bicycles?
They're not worth much. It's just like, it was a really interesting era of bicycles where like up until that point, if you wanted a bicycle that wasn't garbage, like it had to come out of Italy and maybe France, right? Like it's just like the best bicycles in the world came out of Europe, and to a lesser extent, like I guess the UK as well, but it was mostly Italy. Like Italy produced the best bicycles in the world, right? And then how do I say this?
Outside of Elysium, a lot of people actually do ride bikes.
Yeah, they do. So. These are specifically like racing bicycles, like road racing, like the Tour de France style bicycles from like the 1980s. But
so one day we'll see an image of Vesper in his like skin tight uniform.
I actually wear the the Power Ranger looking shit like when I go bicycling. Like I actually I know. Anyways. I'm just talking about something that I love, right? And it's just like I can't stop talking about it. Like so Italian bicycles were the best in the world, but then they didn't export the good stuff to the United States because in the United States because in the United States bicycling culture was never really like a thing. They were like, oh, it's for kids, it's for like,
right.
Adults buy a car, but then so like the Italians didn't really export the best stuff to the US. And then Japan just out of nowhere, they're like, let's just make bicycles and then export them to the United States really cheap. And then when they got there and people started riding them, they were like, they were like 1/20th the price of an Italian bicycle because of like importing costs, right? They were 1/20th the cost of an Italian bicycle, like a decent quality one, and it was like of the same quality, or in some cases even higher, just because like like the Japanese, they just make really good stuff. Like they have good attention to quality. They have good quality control. Like they're very precise and stuff like that. So they were just like incredibly high value for how good they were, right? And I'm just like fascinated with that era. And I could go on for hours about like I could like the thing that I'm thinking about right now that I can't talk about because we have to end the stream because we're already like 20 minutes in is the Japanese invented the parallelogram rear derailleur.
What is that?
And it was just like the Italians were like, what is this? Like, what is this thing that the Japanese created? And the parallelogram derailleur was invented in 1982, 1981. It was patented in 1983, and it's still being used right now. Like, it's probably never going to be replaced. It's just like a game changer.
I have no idea what a parallel.
I know it's nerdy. Nobody. It's bicycle.
No, I want to know. That's the thing.
Yeah, we could talk.
Interesting.
I might do like I might do like a just chatting later on, just because like I could talk about this stuff for hours. But yeah, like I did collect bicycle frames, and I had like 18. I had almost 20. I didn't think I hit 20. Well, no. I had my daily riders. Like I had my own bicycle. So counting that, right. Yeah, it was over 20. I had like 22, 23 bicycles. It was.
Dude, honestly, that was so interesting to hear. Okay. Before we end, can I ask you one question?
Please do. Yeah. Thank you for.
This isn't coming from a way of like, oh, Vesper, can I like you? No, it's not coming from that kind of thing. I'm really just curious, like, what kind of qualities do you respect the most in people? What like makes people stand out to you that like, oh, that's a good person, or oh, I respect that out of that guy. What's respectful? What do you think?
Okay. It's a two-pronged question, and it's like, what makes me think a person is good, and what qualities like attract me to a person? They're like two, like, do I respect, right? I think they're two separate. All right, so one thing is like, this has gotten
take notes.
This has gotten me screwed over multiple times because this is a trait in a person that I can identify and be like, I like this person, but they're not a good person, right? And it's just like, oh, I got screwed over because I really admired and respected this person. I became their friend and then ended up not being a very great person. It's like exceptional talent at something, right?
Okay.
Just being like really, really, really good at something. And it's even funnier when like they're clearly neglecting other parts of their life. Does that make sense? Like they overfocus and they're just like really good at this one thing and they can't do anything else. Like they're like barely functional adults, but like they're the best. They're the best knitter in the world. Like they can knit without looking at the needles and stuff like that. Like you could be having lunch with them, and then like you look underneath the table and they're knitting like a sweater, like an Iran sweater. And it's like, what the, like how do you know that? Like
interesting.
Just like excessive talent at one like very specific thing to the detriment of the rest of their life. I look at that and be like, wow, like I'm interested in this person. Like let's see what they're all
Vesper,
about.
You find me interesting because my FPS skills, huh? That's it.
It's not just your FPS skills. It's more singing than FPS. But I was like the gaming skills are good too. But it was mostly the singing. Yeah.
I see how it is. I thought it was my charming personality. I thought it was the fact that we got along.
It's gotten me screwed over just because like I've gotten really into a person and been like, I really want to be your friend, and then they ended up not. Because the thing is, like, you could be really good at something and not be a good person, right? Like
yeah, that's true.
We could name several people like that, right? And so like that's something that attracts me to people, new people. And then what trait makes me think somebody is good? Oh man, let me think. I mean, like the other, like you guys all gave really good examples, right? It's like, don't look down on other people, don't exploit other people, always treat people very fairly. So I kind of want to give something that's a little bit different. Let me think about it real quick.
Okay. You can hear the motors in his mind.
When I think I got something. I got it. When I'm talking to someone and it becomes very apparent that they're open-minded and they don't judge other people, right? So just because they don't understand something and just because they don't agree with them, they don't automatically dismiss this person as like, oh, I guess we could never get along, right? Like I've been a little bit in like fandom. I try to actually actively stay away from it because of this, but like anime fandom, like it can get so messed up because it's like, oh, you don't like my favorite character? Well, I guess we can't be friends then. It's like, bitch, it's just a character. Like, what? Like, how can you judge someone based on their, like, if they don't like your character? It doesn't matter. Like,
excuse me, 02 is better than Ichigo.
Right? Like, so like when I look at someone and they can disagree with you and still treat you like a person, right? Like, I think, okay, you're open-minded and I like you, you know? And it's just like I don't like closed-minded people that just like automatically reject you because they disagree. I just don't like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like,
so
the thing is, you're never gonna change if you just keep the same closed mind.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
if you want to change, you have to keep an open mind to things. You have to receive things.
Yeah.
Maybe they go straight through you, but sometimes they leave a small little inkling back in your mind.
Yeah.
And that's how you change, slowly but surely, keeping an open mind.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good answer, just a little bit different from the rest of the group. And I think like everybody in Tempest has this. Like we're all like fairly open-minded. Like we're not going to judge people based on like if somebody comes to you, it's like, I didn't really like Itachi, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, cool, whatever. Like, yeah, he's my favorite character.
I'll fucking murder them.
Oh, come on, dude! I tried to set you up as like a good. Come on, man. Oh, I had a lot of fun out there. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me for what is it, like 1 hour 30 minutes?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Like
I had a lot of fun.
I enjoy these chats, man. I enjoy these chats.
Yeah. We could like have these off stream. Like we don't need the stream, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool to like
think of the podcast content though.
Oh man, the podcast is gonna be so great. We're gonna be doing like 3 hours of this, like with.
I swear we're gonna be like chatting in chat. And it's gonna be like, dude, save it for the pod. Save it for the pod.
Save it for the podcast. Yeah. That's gonna be like the next. That's gonna be the next. Hey, I'm just a little guy. Like it's gonna be our next like Tempest thing where we just say that, you know.
Save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod. Hey, save it for the pod. Yeah. All right. I think we could call it here and end the stream. Everybody, thank you for coming and listening to us talk about League of Legends and bicycles and such and Whitebeard. I had a fun time chatting with Altare, and I hope you guys had a fun time listening to his opinions and experiences and stuff like that. Yeah. Altare, is there anything you want to plug or anything like that, or we just anything? I'm done for the week. I've got nothing else. Tomorrow it's just like morning Zatsudan and like maybe like a super chat reading. Like, is there anything you got anything cool planned?
Oh, can I tease the Monday collab?
You know what?
Not the one, not the big one, but like the Monday collab.
Yeah.
So Monday. Since it's going to be on my stream, we're taking the boys heisting. We're going to play some Payday 2.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you guys want to hang out then, well, let's just see if the boys can break open a bank vault or two, right?
You hard sold me on Payday. I don't think it was on stream either, right? Like you were describing like the 2 or 3 games that we had to choose, and it's like Payday, man. Payday all the way.
If you're interested, I'm going to be doing a stealth only. On Thursday, I think, maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly, but
so after our collab, like
after our collab.
Okay, yeah, no.
Well, I don't think that we're gonna be able to stealth anything in that game together. So
yeah, like it's gonna be a mix of like Axel just going in head first and me just bumbling into things because I don't know how to play the game, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we can play a little bit together beforehand. So
you know that would actually. I would actually appreciate that. I do like to do a little bit of like practice beforehand, so I know how to move and stuff like that, and I know how to jump, right? Yeah, please. I would appreciate that.
Alrighty. Cool.
All right, everybody. I think we're going to end the stream now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And I hope you have a good night. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Take care. Goodbye.